Hello, this is Spidey1958 and welcome to my Let's Play, or my new Let's Play, Pathfinder Kingmaker Beta 3, the Evil Beta. I'm going to go through and show some of the new features and then play this new beta that just came out. It only goes to the end of Chapter 1. But there'd been several people wanting to see me play an evil caster, so this time we're going to run through it playing an evil caster. And we'll basically try to always select evil options. So let's, before we start that, look at all the new settings, because there are some good new settings in here. And those who aren't interested in it, this is probably going to be about 8-9 minutes of me talking about, look, settings. So if you not interested, feel free to go about 8-9 minutes ahead in the video. So, looking at the settings. Game settings have quite dramatically increased. We have the language settings, which, you got your, I think it's Russian, French, German, and Chinese. Of which German is the only one I really read any of, and I don't speak it, so we will be doing it in English. Okay, you can now set so only your active companions receive experience, because now everyone doesn't have the same experience anymore. So each NPC's experience is kept track of separately, so they could all be different levels and stuff. So if we click this on, all your other characters won't get experience when they're back at the Owllogs or the castle and that. But that means you're not sharing experience with them, so you get more experience for the characters you are running. So I don't know. I could see it either way. But since you want your leaders, you want them to get up to 4th level and 8th level. Well, 8th level is the most important, because then you can add 2 to the stat, which is a modifier that modifies whatever leadership role they are. So there is that. You can also set it so only the person who disarms the trap gets the experience, which means your fighters would probably go up a lot faster. But then again, if you are the fighter that's doing all the or a rogue doing all the disarmed traps, you might want that. Party speed depends on carried weight. We're going to leave that turned off, so we won't be slowed down by encumbrance. AI doesn't use expendable spells. We're going to leave that turned on. Basically, they're not going to throw non-cantrip spells. Tutorial messages, we'll leave that on all, that's fine. Action bar slots autofill, let's go ahead and turn that one off. That's basically, it's when you get a new skill or something, it automatically puts on the bar for you. So I think we will turn that one off. Enable looting during combat, I don't have any problems with that. Autosave turned on, 3, we can set the number, we'll leave it at 3 and 3 for now. Tooltip delay. I think the default is 0.1, and I think I took it up to 0.2. Show equipment, I like that. Comparative tooltip delay. This slides, but it doesn't give me any numbers, so we'll leave it at nothing. Combat settings, this is basically what it shows, and I want it to show everything so we can see, combat. Attacks of opportunity, avoid something, miss, damage, combat text for criticals, sneak attacks, spell name over the character, and save notifications in combat tests. We'll leave all that on. Show names of parties. So you can now turn it on so it shows them when you hit the highlight key, on select, on pause, or always. So let's actually turn this to on pause. So whenever the game pauses, we'll see the characters' names. Highlight key, hotkey, again, you can set this for all those options. We'll leave it for highlight, so there'll be the bars on there for quick fill, but if I put my cursor over it, it will give me the hit points. Text hit points instead of hit point bar. Now we'll leave that. Show parties when idle. That's fine. So when we select a character, we'll see who they're going to hit. When we select a character, we'll see who they're going to throw spells at. Let's change the numeric cool. Now let's leave that on select. Okay, on mouse over, show enemy name. On pause, show enemy hit points. Show enemy hit bar. We'll leave that turned on. Let's actually turn that on. Show enemy actions on pause, on mouse hover, on mouse hover. That's all good. Show alignment shifts. So you can turn those all on if you want. We're going to leave all the notifications on so that we don't miss what's going on. Okay, auto pause. This is new, and this is where we're going to make. I made some changes, so we're going to reset all commands. That's normal. We're not going to keep moving after combat start. We're going to stop. Pause when trap is detected. Pause on combat. Pause when hidden object detected. Pause on combat start. Those are all the ones we had before. Pause on melee combat start. We already have pause on combat start, so it seems redundant. Pause when party members' round is over. But what we are going to turn on is pause at end of round. So this basically at the end of every round, after everyone's gone, it's going to pause. So since I'm playing a caster and I wanted to see what it plays like if you're playing more like a turn-based game, we're going to have that one on. Party ability, no, we don't want that. Pause when spellcaster starts. Enemies party all, nah, we don't want to do that. Pause when interrupted, no. When finished, when buffer summon ends, when ally is down, when enemy is down, when new enemy appears. We're going to turn on the when party has low hit points. Leave that off, leave that off. When enemy is spotted, yeah, yep. When weapon is ineffective, yes. Because you know how bad I am at missing that it did 0 damage. So we're going to leave that on. And when the ally is unconscious or dead, so. Okay, so that should do it on those. Controls, we'll go ahead and apply those settings. Controls, basically there's nothing really new here. You can set your various keys and move camera around, that sort of stuff. You can do alts here to select characters, dialogue. You know, pretty much it was like before for the most part there. Camera, basically you have more options. We're going to leave pretty much let's turn it up to high everything. So everything's on high. We'll see if how that works, but I got a fairly powerful machine with a fairly powerful stuff, so we'll do that. Turn the sound down to about 30%. Hopefully that will work with my, you'll still be able to hear me, but there are a lot more voiceovers than there were before. So I want to leave those. So maybe we'll just turn this down a smidge. There, we'll turn it down to there. Okay, that goes through the settings. So we can close that out, and we're going to start a new game. First thing you do in new games, here's the new difficulty settings. You set them as you create a game, which I like that change. I like the fact that every time you create a new game, boom, it brings up the difficulty settings right there. So we're going to play on normal, which means we have weak critical hits. Before, what we were calling normal had no critical hits, so that's a little different. We're going to Death Door yes. You can also now set it so dead companions just rise after combat, so basically they never really die. Remove negative effects on rest. We're going to keep it the way it is for now, but we can turn that on if we have problems with the blindness and all that sort of stuff. You can turn on auto level up for your companions or all that are possible. We're going to leave that off. I like upgrading my own. This one's stat numeric adjustments. I assume this adjusts the stats for the creatures. So if you do none, it leaves them as normal, and then you can improve them or you can really get them lower. So we'll leave, for now we're going to just play it pretty much exactly the way it is. They're going to do 80% of the normal damage. They're going to be weak. Kingdom management now actually has an adjustment too, so you can do auto, easy, normal, or hard. We're going to leave it on normal, though we won't ever get to the actual kingdom management in this playthrough. We'll leave show tutorial on, and we're definitely not turning on Iron Man or immersive mode. So next we click over here on pre-gen. They basically have these 4 fighters, and some of the pictures they changed, like the sorcerer, and I'm not sure I really like them that much, but we'll go ahead and create a new one. And I said we're going to do evil and a caster, so let's do a necromancer. I mean, that's the quintessential evil caster. So we can see there's some new portraits here. There's a thief, there's a insane gnome, halfling cleric, fighter type, could be a sneaky or a ranger or a barbarian, dwarf. That was our previous baroness. Nothing new there. Druidish. A fierce half-orc, an elf archer, dwarf, female, elf, rangery type, and I assume that's a dwarf, but I could be wrong. So, but we're going to go with the evil undead sorcery type. Okay, race. They did add the new race, Esmir. Which basically get the heritages. They get acid, cold, and electricity. They get halo. They get heritage. And they get stat pluses depending on what you choose for a race. I would be tempted to take this, but they're broken and don't work with sorcerers. So we're going to go with human. And besides, I like the extra feat. The extra feat and the extra skill point I think are well worth it. So we'll leave that hairstyle. We'll change the face to something new. Change the hair to more reddish to match that. And I think that's it for this screen. So we decided we're going to be a sorcerer. Boom. Now there are, if you don't want to take a bloodline, which we do, they do have 3 different types of sorcerers. They have the Empriel? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and you know how I mispronounce stuff. Which is basically a bloodline of Celestial. They're Sylvan. They actually get an animal companion. So they'd be neat to run, but we're doing an evil necromancer. And evil necromancers don't have cute little pets. And the sage, who basically, we don't know what their ability is here because it's blank. So apparently they get magic missile. So we're going to go with sorcerer. The base class, and then we're going to choose undead bloodline. Now they have abysmal, arcane, celestial, all these various dragons, the 4 elements, fey, infernal, serpentine. So they have a lot of bloodline choices, but we're going to go with undead. One of the things I like about the undead is at 3rd level they get damage resistance 5 magic and resist cold 5. So we're going to go ahead and do next. And then we have stats. So I think what we're going to do, We want at least a 16 charisma. I think a 16 dex and a 14 con. Leave our strength at 10, our intelligence at 10, and our wisdom at 10. And then our extra 2 points we'll of course put into charisma. Now 2 points of skills. We definitely want 1 in persuasion so they can talk their way out of stuff. The other one we're going to go ahead and put in persuasion. Or arcana, sorry. And that so that they can identify magic items and stuff like that. Now there have been some people having issues where the magical items aren't activating. I didn't see that in my playing around with it. It may be because they're not getting identified. I'm not sure on that, so but we'll go ahead and go to the next one. So now we get 1 for normal one, we get 1 for being human, and then we get 1 bonus 1 for sorcerers, which are restricted on what they can take. So we're going to be a summoner necromancer, so we want summoning feats. So we want augment summoning. For that we have to have spell focus, which we'll take here in a minute. Extra bombs, extra bane, extra arcane, extra channels, extra perform. So I'm just sort of scrolling through these so you can sort of see some of the new ones. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm looking for summoning ones. So that one we're definitely ultimately going to want, but not at first level. Okay. So do we want combat casting or toughness? We're not going to get in combat much, so now let's go with combat casting, and then we'll take spell focus so we can get, and we'll take necromancy of course, because I'm going to specialize in necromancy and conjuration, and most of my damage spells that I do are going to be cold, I've already decided. So it's going to be sort of a very necromancy type theme. And now that we have spell focus, we can take augment summoning, which basically adds 4 to strength and con, which basically gives them +2 hit and damage and +2 hit points per level. So definitely makes your summoned creatures a little tougher. Go ahead and go next. And for our 2 spells, we're going to take Mage Armor. And Summon Monster 1. So the only offensive spell we're going to have is our cantrips and summoning monsters, which I'm okay with. And then we're going to go ahead with Madman.
I did it! May I see your entrails, please?
Which just seems particularly creepy. We said they were going to be neutral. Do we want to be chaotic or let's just go neutral evil. You know, we're sort of self-centered. We don't really care. And birth date, we'll set that for the 31st of the 10th month. And you can guess why. And oh, we need a name. We'll call her Moria. Moria. Okay. And looks like we're complete. Now the prologue is mostly voiceover now. So I will let the voices play and mostly stay quiet and just read my lines when I respond. So let's go ahead and start. The load speeds seem to have improved quite dramatically, if my memory's right. And just maybe because the load games are smaller or something on autosave, but it seems like the loads are just happening faster, which is a good thing. That was one of the things I complained about. So this is your new beginning. Nice picture of a book, people all standing there. And we are good to go. So let's go ahead and actually start our adventure.
Where are they? This is taking forever. They didn't even say what this was for, just that the Aldori were looking for heroes. Who are the Aldori anyway? Rich folk?
If you can't be patient, no one's keeping you here. Just go back to your mountains or whatever hole you crawled out of. The Aldori Swordlords run the premier school for the dueling arts. They're also the richest and most influential group in this part of Brevoy. Take that tone with them, and they'll teach you some manners pretty quickly.
All right, you purple toad, just shut your trap. And if you can't, I'll help you.
Hush! Quiet! They're coming.
I like Tortuccio's and Linzi's voice, but I'm not sure on the Mary how I like the voice for the reading. But hey.
Greetings, everyone. I am Swordlord Jamandi Aldori, and this is Lord Mayor Yosef Selimius of Restov. Welcome to my mansion.
We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for responding to our call. You may be few, but that's unavoidable. We need only the best of the best for this task. And I see true heroes before me, strong and fierce, exactly what Restov needs.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Now, to the point. South of here, just beyond Brevoy's border, lies a region known as the Stolen Lands. This is disputed territory, and while it's long been claimed by nearby states, it's never been truly taken. I won't bore you with the legal technicalities. Suffice to say that anyone with enough courage and power to seize the Stolen Lands and name themselves Baron or Baroness, claiming dominion, well, none of the neighboring states would be able to challenge it. Of course, Restov would be first to recognize the legitimacy of this new state, as well as the noble title of its founder. Unfortunately, one serious obstacle stands between you and this title. A gang of bandits holds sway in the Stolen Lands. Their chief, who they call the Stag Lord, considers himself the rightful owner of these lands, and no one has yet been able to challenge his power. Bring me his head, and you'll be able to return to the Stolen Lands as their legal ruler. Any questions?
You're helping us found a barony. What do you gain from such generosity?
Don't ask stupid questions. Why should you even care? What they have to gain and why, that's for Lady Aldori and I to discuss. It's none of your concern. Your only concern is to swing your sword around, or whatever it is you do.
Of course, we stand to benefit from this enterprise. But if you're concerned that we intend to rule your country from afar, using you as a front, well, please know that these concerns are unfounded. Let's just say that we have a strong interest in the region's stability. We have need of a ruling power we can negotiate with, not bandit gangs and monster hordes.
What rewards can we expect exactly?
And what reward would you seek beyond a noble title and your own lands?
We'll absorb the costs of preparing and equipping your expeditions. Once you return victorious, Restov will also allocate you a significant sum to provide financial support for you to establish your country. Essentially, we'll help you build your capital, I hope such a reward is satisfactory.
Words, words, words. Significant, financial. I can't fill my belly with pretty words.
Of course. There will also be an official banquet held in your honor. All of Rostov's high society will gather to celebrate your feat.
Now you're talking.
It's as clear as day.
Excellent. You venture forth tomorrow. For now, you can take some time to get to know one another better. Or you can head straight to your guest rooms to get some rest. You'll find we've already prepared supplies for you there. And thank you again for agreeing to take part in this expedition. I wish you luck.
Thank you again, with all my heart, for replying to this call. The flare in your eyes reveals your courage, the unshakable will that distinguishes true heroes. I look at you, O champions of Rostov, and doubt not for a second that you'll be victorious. So venture forth toward your feet. Go, and return in triumph.
Hi, my name's Linzi. I'm a bard, though this is my first real adventure. So, shall we go teach this stag lord a lesson?
I'm Moria. Pleased to meet you.
Likewise. Actually, I also wanted to ask you something. How do you feel about this Tartuccio fellow? I think he's pretty obnoxious personally. He appointed himself head of the team, and he's just after the Baron's crown, or whatever it is barons wear. It doesn't matter. I don't like him. I think you should be team leader. When I first saw you, I couldn't help but think, now here's a real hero. Someone who'll be praised in poems and songs. This is the person I'll write my book about.
Wait, a book?
Damn, I should have led with that. Please, just let me explain. You know what the trouble with most heroes' biographies is? They're always written years later, based on the tales of, best case, people who saw things from the outside. Worst case, someone heard about it from their brother, who heard it from their friend, who heard it from their cousin, and so on, adding a new batch of lies each time. Every time I read about a heroic journey, I think to myself, why didn't they just bring a bard with them to write it all down properly? And then I thought, I could be that bard. I just needed to find a suitable hero and volunteer to follow along on their glorious adventure. A great plan, huh? And here we are, with a heroic journey lying before us. Who's going to be the hero? Some dwarf who keeps muttering about how we'll all die? Or maybe that horrific scythe lady? Or, God's forbid, Tartuccio? No way.
Not a bad plan. It's settled then. I accomplish the feats, and you'll write them down.
Deal. All right. I'm going to my room to write about tonight. See you in the morning.
Can we actually talk to these people? I guess they just have one-liners. Okay, well I think at this point, since as soon as we go to our bedroom we'll get woken up for the fight, we will call it an episode. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, give me a like or a comment, and if you disliked the episode, leaving me a dislike is fine, but please leave a comment saying why you disliked the episode. As always, this is Spidey 1958, and have fun gaming!